Alright, so I'm making a quick video to kind of point out why I think it is smart for us to move away from just using PowerPoint towards using a church presentation software like Proclaim. So what I have here open, as you can see, is Proclaim. I'm running this, recording this in OBS just like we normally would um, normal things, and in fact I'm going to start with OBS improvements. I apologize for the infinite loop you're about to see. Alright, so here is OBS. This is the updated version. I haven't updated the one at the church because it has a slight problem I need to fix. And here is our normal camera overlay. Okay, this uses a display capture. You're familiar with this setting right here. This can get changed accidentally, and it can change itself. In fact, the problem with the display capture on its own is that nearly every week we have to go in and change that setting to set it back to the proper display so that our presentations work for Chinese service. I don't have to do that with Proclaim. So you see this channel here. It says NDI-in. Okay, and those words look a little weird because I don't have the NDI stream running right now, but I'll show you in a minute. I never have to adjust this because it's hard-coded looking for a specific NDI stream. It's a network data interface stream with a specific name coming from a specific program, and it can't change unless you go into Proclaim and manually turn it off. So I don't have to change it. I don't have to worry about this display capture changing, and as you saw, the text was overlaid. But we still have the option to do a traditional display capture. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now you see I'm capturing this display. If I were to go on air, you would see we can still capture a normal PowerPoint presentation as if this were as normal. We don't have to necessarily use that lower third for every single slide or every single scene. We just have the options. So it's easier, it's more stable for OBS, and it gives us more options for display capture that make our lives a little bit easier on the recording and the streaming side of things. Okay, now as far as presenter control goes for Proclaim, I find it much easier to control the presentation for a couple of reasons. First of all, you go on air. This is the view you get by default. This message doesn't mean anything up here, so don't worry about that. It has to do with the live streaming that we don't do through Proclaim. To go between your slides, you just use your arrow keys, and it does your transition, and it just goes through your slides like you normally would. You can also use the up and down. You can use the space bar. All of the normal things work. Slide remotes will work, same as PowerPoint. You have to be clicked on to Proclaim for that to work. And same as PowerPoint, I have a smartphone app that will let me control remotely, but different than PowerPoint, there's also a smartphone app that lets me control it natively in Proclaim and see all of the slides there too. The control is really easy. You can also click. Now, say we're going through service and you want to repeat a verse, but for some reason they're not in the right order here. Well, all you have to do is find the one you want and click on it. And it changes to that one instead of making you arrow through all of them and do this nonsense right here. So that's a benefit. Another benefit of this is the on-air editing. So I'm on air right now. I can change this to edit, and I can change the text of the slide while it is live. So if I were to go to the chorus here and I were to change this from how I trust him to wow I trust him, what you'll see is that immediately changed down here on the slide that we are presenting. So this is our preview over on the right. This is our edit preview, not the live preview. But remember, we're still live, so I can change that word while we're live without having to go back to that slide and change it in a way that would be visible to the congregation. So on-air editing is a thing. Then we have stage messages. Really quickly, stage messages are awesome. We go back to preview. Now we have a couple options for stage messages. I can type this in. I can say this is a message, and I can make an announcement just to the congregation. So I can say to the congregation, "Hey, the nursery needs you. The nursery needs this parent to come back and check on their child." I can also send a message to the confidence monitor. I'll show you what that looks like. Not only can you send messages to the congregation across the bottom in a way that doesn't distract the presenter, but I can send messages by clicking to stage to the presenter, like adjust your microphone and it will flash, and I can make it flash the whole screen so it's easier to see. I can make it flash just the message, and I can easily clear that message. I can also send a custom nursery alert by typing in here. So I would type in number like 5, say your kid was number 5. Yes, sir, buddy. No, you don't need hand soap. I could send a message to a parent without calling them out directly by typing in the number 5 here. You see child 5. If your child is number 5, you go back and get your kid. You can also send a message and page a particular parent for their child. See down here, you see a child's face and the number 5. Say you were family 5, you're the 5th family to leave your kid for the day. Well, then I can easily give you a number at the nursery. If you see that number flash in the corner, guess what? That means you need to go check on your kid, and those can be easily cleared with the X. So we have stage messages, we have messages to the congregation, and both of these are invisible to the other party for a more seamless service. Now we're going to go back off air, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a new service. So we're going to click on File, we're going to click on Duplicate Recent, and say we want to make a duplicate of our combined service from this month. I'll click on that, and look, it has now duplicated to another service. This is the same as we used on Sunday. All I would do is change the name, make sure the date is correct, and then I would go through my slides with dates on them, and I would make sure those dates are correct as well. And then it would be ready to go. If we put our announcements in Proclaim instead of as PowerPoint slides, then you would click on that announcement. For instance, here's my Yam Bible Study announcement. All I have to do is go in here and change that information right there, and it would be up to date from that point on. So you have the ability to easily reuse slides. Also, if you click on Add Item up here and then click Reuse Item, it's going to show you a list of your slides or songs or whatever that may be, including, by the way, PowerPoint presentations that you've used recently. And you can scroll through, you can search them, and this goes all the way back to our very first test back in January of this year. So it is every slide you've ever created. You can always pull it back in easily to reuse it. Now, editing is really easy. I will show you a song to demonstrate this. We go to God of Wonders. Everything is right here in this text pane. I'm going to highlight that. You don't have to go to every individual slide and copy the text and paste it to move it between slides or scroll through all these slides and edit them all individually. It's all right here in one place. You edit it here, and to get slide breaks, all you have to do is either put 2 spaces or a double dash right there, and it will break the slides appropriately. So this centralized text field makes it super easy for anyone to get in and change the text of a song. Now, this is the arrangement of the song you want to use. So if you're not using just verse, chorus, verse, and then being done, you want to use the chorus second time, or you want to do them out of order, you can easily type that in up here. And as you type, you'll notice this little window pops up, and you can arrange the song the way you want to perform it. Now, backgrounds. Backgrounds are fantastically easy to use in Proclaim. All you have to do is click on the item you want. We're on God of Wonders. It's a song. We're going to click Background, Browse Media, and it will open Proclaim Media. Now, it will be on all by default. You want to change that to owned because we don't pay for the Pro package of media. But all of these backgrounds are free for us to use. And you notice that it keeps on going. There are hundreds of backgrounds that we can use for free, included with our subscription. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe you want some more backgrounds. Well, you can click Import Files here and import a picture to use as your background really easily right there as well. Now, these are just for songs. If I were to clear that tab, there are 2,183 different backgrounds that we can use right now today. If you want a specific kind of slide, say it's just a normal content slide, you can click on that. It will filter down to ones that are made for content, Bible, song. You can look for video slides. There's pretty powerful filters on the left side of the pane here that I think you would find very helpful. You can also search by title, so I can search for Jonah. And look, slides related to the book of Jonah. In fact, I used this one on Sunday. This is a lower third for Jonah with the little water that I thought was pretty neat. So that's pretty easy to use. And now to use those backgrounds, I'm going to make this not quite so big. All you're going to do is click the one you want and click Apply as Background. And it's there. It's applied to your whole presentation, or to the whole service item, and you can have a different background for every service item. And you can even have lower thirds. So this is our second channel output. This is so that we have a text overlay. And all you have to do here is click on the one you want to use, an appropriate lower third. And again, you would apply it as the background and then maybe drag the text down. Because this is a song and this is not a song lower third, it doesn't give you the option to apply as smart media, but I'll show you that now. Here is my sermon. Okay, notice how that's why there was an extra one right there. Notice how all of my text is already formatted down here. That's because when I go to Proclaim and I've clicked on my sermon, I can click on that. It's a little unhappy. Search for Jonah, click on it, and now it says apply as smart media. If I do that, what it will do is it will format my text in a way that was already configured by the person who uploaded this background to fit in that background for the lower third. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like in OBS real quick. We're going to go on air. So now you'll see that if we go to the NDIN channel here, you'll see now that I have an overlay. I've got the camera in the background there, and I have my text at the bottom. This is very common for churches. This is a very professional way to do scripture or song lyrics or anything like that. And there is a decent selection of lower third options built in, but we can also add our own and customize those as we see fit. So that is the benefit of that NDI output. But even though I have that NDI channel going for the recording, the congregation is still going to see this version of that in the sanctuary, so it's not going to be distracting like a weird lower third would be if they were seeing it there. Go off air. You can easily switch between your different views here: slides, text, confidence. And here I can see not only my scripture, but I can see the time, and I can see the first line of the next slide, which makes it really easy to keep up even if the person changing slides is just a few seconds behind. So we have the backgrounds. We have, now notice this scripture. I have it here. The scripture is automatically formatted. This is all of the text that I have entered in for that entire content item of my sermon slides. what I did is I entered the reference in a double bracket with the version, and then I specified that I wanted it in block paragraphs. If you were to add a service item for the Bible, well, then those are settings that you can change right here, and that automatically creates a signal that it sends to, as I'll discuss with the companion app, sends a signal to phones of people who have that app to help them get straight to that scripture on their own device. So this is even easier. You just put the reference up here and you pick the language, the translation. I already have Chinese loaded right there, and you just go. It's done. You don't have to worry about it. And then you can even check there the text only. So I will demonstrate. Let's do John chapter 3. And look at that. It's already formatted in Chinese. They separate, in Chinese, they separate on the line break. Come on. John chapter 3. They separate on the line break in the Chinese versions. And I could go down here. I could apply a lower third background. If I went with, I just searched for lower. And I applied a smart media. Well, now that's on top of my camera feed right there, out of the way. And it looks way more professional than having the camera in the corner where PowerPoint is up in like this. So instead of having the camera up in the corner like I am now, you would see just me and then the text overlaying me, or however you set that up. A few more things. There's live synchronization between multiple editors. For example, I'm not going to save this presentation is going to be named demonstration, so no one messes with it. You see this blue icon. If you click on that, it synchronizes, and then anyone else who's logged in, so I'm on my account, church account, Pastor Yang, Egan, Yelene, Brother Huang, any of you could easily edit this same presentation at the same time, and I would see your changes every time I ran that synchronization. And we could even send each other messages through this little message app here. So that means, because it's synchronized everywhere and anyone can edit it as a group, anyone in the group can edit it all at the same time, that means that this presentation is always available no matter where you are in the world. As long as you have an internet connection and the Proclaim app, which we can install on an unlimited number of computers, you can get to this presentation because it's saved to the internet every time. Now, a couple things that improve the service aspect of church. Let me go to a finished item here. I'm going to delete this because I don't need it. Now, the confidence monitor is a life changer, and I know that there's been some concerns about the backgrounds in PowerPoint. What does the confidence monitor do that a normal PowerPoint slide would not do? Well, first of all, it shows you the title of the slide, the service item there, so you know where you are. It shows you the time, a timer if you so desire, and it shows you a preview of the next slide all there. There's other templates. For example, we used this one on Sunday where we had to adjust the size of the text so it would all fit. There's one that will display video, and I've created one here where if I had notes in this pane here, and I typed in "here are my notes," my notes appear on the right side, my slide content appears on the left side, fully formatted, and it adjusts to whatever size little box you give it. And these are editable. You can create custom templates. They're really easy to set up, and there are some useful ones already there. So that improves the service as far as the recording goes. The lower thirds, especially when we have our church logo and our own church material, will make services look way more professional when you don't have what you're seeing right now, which is me in a corner and then a display capture. When you have that full camera and you have the scripture out of the way on the side, or the announcements, or the text along the bottom for the songs, or whatever, it just looks way better on recording. than having that PowerPoint and a little picture in the corner that usually we have to move around because it gets in the way. And then you don't have to worry about switching between big person, little presentation, big presentation, little person, because you have that lower third, and all you have to do is turn it on and off if you want it. So another thing, there is a tablet and smartphone app for Proclaim. I will show you that really quickly. I'll just put it up on the camera here. I won't screen record my phone, I'm sorry. But if I were to open the demonstration presentation, I have this right here. I can go through and see all of the slides for that. And I can easily tap to choose different slides. I can also annotate these. So if I go into that mode, hold on, I can change to the confidence monitor mode so I can see that instead. I can turn my notes on and off, and it will let me, if it will do it now. Oh, it's because the presentation is not live. And you can also use this to annotate on a live presentation that's going on, as long as you're connected to the same internet as the church is. It would let me write on the slide if I so desired. So the tablet and phone app control is really helpful. Something I'm going to show you from this week. This is our current English service for this week. If I go over here to 'Tis So Sweet, you'll notice that in the text here I have these letters in my square brackets. When I go over to my text only, notice how they're not there on my slides. They're not here on these slides. It's just showing up in this text field. That's because that's how you put in chords and musical notes for Proclaim. So this is awesome if you're a musician, or even if you just want to sneak some notes in. You can easily put that in brackets right in front of the words you want it on top of, and as you see, it highlights it in yellow so you can see the chords you're supposed to be playing, either on the piano or on a bass guitar or a guitar, whatever. You can easily see those chords, and you get the preview of the chords on the next line, as you can see down there at the bottom. This is a game changer, and I think it takes just a little bit of work to put the chords in the text there, but it is very helpful if you need it. Now, there's one last thing I want to talk about, and that is the congregational participation with the companion app. Here I have this is an example. I have a Bible trivia app. You can participate in Bible trivia if you have this app, and as people answer, they get points, and it's good fun. Okay? Not only that, but the companion app will give the slides on your smartphone or tablet right there in your hand. So if you have bad eyesight, if you're nearsighted, you can have that on your phone right there. We can also publish it so that it can be viewed later. We can send scripture signals. If you notice here, I go to a song. Let me see. I'm going to open the demonstration again. If I go to signals over here, I can add a signal, Bible reference, and I can say, oh, I got to go down to the scripture item. Sorry, I apologize. It's already added them in for me. I didn't do this. So this, when I go to those slides, is going to send a signal to anyone using that companion app saying, guess what? This is the next scripture that's being pulled up. Tap here to open it. It's really convenient. No one has to search through their Bibles. No one has to scroll through their phones. It just pops up a little notification for them to go straight there. There is also calendar signals. So if I have here the Yam Bible Study, this is a signal it will send out to your phone when this slide comes up on screen, if that's turned on. And what it means, you see this little signal icon down here. That means you can add this event directly to your calendar on your phone right there. Super easy. And then the last thing, this is just kind of silly, but I really like it. If we go to preview, the companion app gives you the ability to react to the service. You can put up little hearts, you can put up little amens, and we can even add custom reactions if we want there. All of this to say, I understand that it is a change. Oh, by the way, this is one feature you can load websites directly in. So it actually has the website open here. This isn't a recording, which is sometimes helpful. I've used it for a sermon once or twice. I understand that this is a big change. I understand that it's a bit of a pain to learn something new. But in all reality, in every way that I can think of, this is easier to work with than PowerPoint. Not only is it easier to work with, but it produces a significantly higher quality presentation than we can easily do in PowerPoint. It takes a huge load off of Yelene gathering all of this data every week from everybody. You don't have to do that. You can just give them access and they can put it in themselves. The background library is extensive. It's really helpful, and if you find something you like elsewhere, you can import it easily just like you do in PowerPoint. All of this is, in my opinion, pretty compelling for why this, it's $300 a year for us. I think this is not only a huge value addition to our services, but it makes our recordings look way more professional, and it makes us more attractive to people watching our recordings online. They look at us, they see, hey, they've got their stuff together. I think I want to be part of this church. Certainly there are churches who just record and put that up and that's it. And we do a lot more than that now. I get that. But we can make it look so much better if we put in just a little bit of extra effort to learn how to use this new system. So I'm sorry, I know that this was long-winded, and I know that you have better things to do with your day than to listen to me talk. But these are the reasons why I think Proclaim is an improvement over PowerPoint. And I think it's worth every minute that you put into learning how to use it. We haven't even gotten into the advanced features of it with the text editor, the cool things you can do there, the emphasis text, the different arrangements and songs that you can easily switch. You create a song once, it's there forever. You never have to type it in again. You just search for it in the song, in a new song, and it's there. It saves you so much time. As time goes on, you build this library and you save so much more time going forward. Like if I were to search for Blessed Assurance, I've already made Blessed Assurance. Guess what? It's there. That's done. All I have to do is pick a background and go. So with all that being said, I hope that this little talk here was eye-opening. I hope that it shows you why I think this is something we should invest our time in, and why as English pastor and as IT guy, I've been pushing so hard for it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that if you have any questions, you'll give me a call. I know it's a big change, but let's take the time now. We have 2 months or so left. Let's take the time to get used to the system so that we can put our best foot forward in ministry to people who are looking from the outside world. Thanks.